Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review 4 Good Days. And this is from writer-director Rodrigo Garcia, and focuses on the days between a young woman, played by Mila Kunis, and her mother, Glenn Close, trying to keep her away from drugs as she's trying to detox before getting an important shot that can help her finally overcome her drug addiction that has been really driving her life for over 10 years. And this film, like right off the bat, starting with Mila Kunis is great in this film. This is probably the strongest performance I've seen from her. She definitely has a lot to do. She has to be able to portray that paranoia, that dependence on drugs, that that feeling of like tweaking and always be shaking and twitching, and they do great job with like her makeup and everything to make her seem like she has been on these drugs for a long time. And there's some moments where she has to deal with some really strong emotions and control some emotions, including some moments where she's having with her estranged children and just trying to play a game. And you get to see a lot from her in this film, which you don't get to see a whole lot in other films. You have Glenn Close, who is Glenn Close and has been putting in amazing performances for decades, and she gives a really strong performance, a powerful performance. She has some scary moments. She gets all up in the face of a guy who's running like a drug house, who's like literally twice her size, and she's going at it. And you have these big emotional moments for both Kunis and Close in this film, but we'll get to that in a second. You have like Stephen Root in it, who's always really solid, strong, supporting character in films. And this film, what it does well is that it does capture some great moments. And these moments have a lot of emotion and great acting and are portrayed well. It definitely hits on a lot of different kinds of things. There's some tense moments where, like I mentioned before, Mila Kunis is playing with her son, playing a video game, and he starts getting like really obnoxious in her face, and there's just this moment like, what's she gonna do? How's she gonna react? And you feel that release. And there's this paranoia that Glenn Close has to have, worrying about what her daughter is doing and thinking about the worst possible things. But this film hits on all these basic kind of notes. You know what it's going to hit at. It kind of falls into tropes and cliches that you would expect from films about drug addiction. And it really dives well into melodrama. And it gets really melodramatic and really obnoxious at times. And you're just trying to think like, this needs to tone this down a little bit. And to be a little subtler at times and a little bit more raw in those moments. And the biggest thing that I have with this film is like, it becomes clearer that this is really about Glenn Close's character, and she is really selfish. And this selfishness, and you expect this payoff that she has to overcome, and she gets like her just desserts for being so selfish and self-centered and so focused on she cannot trust her daughter, so she thinks so poorly of her at every moment possible. And yes, it gets some great tension and suspense and dramatic moments in this film, but it makes us hard to root for Glenn Close. But then I don't know what the film's trying to say, because how this film plays out reinforces that behavior. And by the end, there are some choices where the narrative goes that just kind of felt cheap and just going for more like big moments instead of paying off the actual message that I felt like this film was trying to go for. This film's a bit of a mixed bag, and where it's overly melodramatic and a bit muddled in what it's trying to say, it overcomes for emotion and suspense and tension and great performances. So in the end, I feel like this film is more middle of the road and not something special, but it is, I think, worth checking out because you see some great acting from great actors and some actors who are putting in some of the best performances they've had. And in the end, I think this one might be worth your time. It's a hard watch. So if this is something that you don't want to be watching, something that's going to put you down, avoid this one. But if you're willing to give this one a try, I think you'll get something out of it. But those are my thoughts on 4 Good Days. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.